Hey guys, it's Josiah here, back again with another video. Now in this video I wanted to go through the one thing that literally was about to kill my own agency that I see a lot of other people doing, and I wanted to make this video just because this one thing that I've been doing with my agency recently has literally been a detriment of my own success, right? And I want to give this to other people that essentially are growing, are seeing some success with running the agency, but they're literally falling victim to themselves because they're doing too much in the agency, which a lot of people don't talk about, right? But just before I go into it, my name is Josiah. If you're first time watching this, everyone calls me Jozy. What I do is help agencies scale by helping them build acquisition system, leveraging AI to book more appointments, sign more clients, and moving stuff out of the agency, right? There is a link below if you want to learn about what we do, but that's not the main point of the video. The main point of the video is just going through this. And when I come across kind of this, let's say a mindset or phenomenon that a lot of people go to, it literally shocks me, right? It literally shocks me because the main thing I was doing when I was scaling up the agency, and this was just a few weeks ago, right, was I was getting to a point that we're booking a lot of appointments, right? We just got to a point that we had another sales rep. A lot of things were going on to the business. And what I decided to do, because things were going well, and a lot of people do this, I decided to go and test out a lot of shit that I didn't need to test out. I was like, okay. So what I done is I went and got a new sales rep. I went and actually changed a bit of the offer, right, in terms of what we're offering, and tested something else. I went and then changed how we were setting as well, setting appointments. And then I went and changed how we were doing a show up rate, okay? And I've done all of this in a space of a week, right? So I got my Bob the Builder hat on, and I started changing a lot of things on my business, okay? And then what I realized is that when a lot of people change things in their business, it comes through a few things. It literally stems from a few things. Number one is that I was bored, right? Because I got to a point that I wasn't taking that much sales calls because I had all of it kind of all dialed in. I had my setting team doing all the work, right? And the product was fine. Clients get amazing results from the program. And I was just asking myself, I was like, what do I do with my time? And I wanted to scale, and I'm like, okay, what can I do to scale? And what I've done is just wrote out a lot of things I needed to do, right? Just things that could be done better, okay? And I just went and done every single one of them. But the caveat is I've done all of them at the same time. I didn't do all of them at once and then waited a bit, seeing how the results went. I literally was like, okay, I've got time. I know how to work really hard, like 16-hour days. And I just done all of them, right? And then what happened is that once you're changing a lot of things from the business, right, it creates unnecessary bottlenecks, right? Because you don't realize that changing one thing means that there's going to be a knock-off effect. There's going to be a cause and effect result, and you do not know sometimes how drastic the results are, or how drastic the cause and effect is, or what is going to be cause and effect. Because for example, you could change an offer and you could see the appointment rate go up, but then you can see the close rate drastically go down, right? Which, like, okay, like you're booking more appointments, but you're closing less, which means that you lose the money, okay? And that's what I didn't understand, that I thought that I wanted to more rush the success, like get this as quick as possible. And what happened was that I created a bottleneck to myself, which I'm going to get onto in a minute, that was unnecessary. And it set me a few weeks back, because I'm like, okay, like, why did this happen? Okay. And the thing is as well, is that being bored in business is what I see, especially for myself or a lot of people that are very successful, people that are very ambitious. They're ahead of the things, that get the to-do list, to-do list done. That's the word, right? The to-do list, they get it done right away. And they're like, okay, what's next for the business? And these people, especially like very ambitious, they end up doing way too much for themselves. They end up like creating extra things that necessarily doesn't move the needle forward to the business, just because they want to feel more productive in the day. And I felt victim to that. Like, I wanted to be way more productive than I had to be for the business. And what happened is that I was basically kind of the cancer of my own business, which is crazy. And I think Dan Martell talks about this in his Buy Back Your Time, is that like us entrepreneurs are notoriously good at building stuff, and more notoriously good at destroying the stuff that we built. And I call myself in this loop because we were growing. We had a few, like, I'm not saying all the tests or all the things that I've done didn't help the business. There's some tests, like, let's say using more AI, that helped us book more appointments, sign more clients. Yes, that's definitely helped the business. But there was things that I was doing that I could have just went to sleep and seen the same results, right? And a lot of people don't understand this, because for me, I honestly believe, like, and especially I can't talk for everyone else, but for me, it was a lack of like things to do. Right? Because I was so bored, because I had other people doing other things. I knew how to delegate. I knew how to remove things off my plate. That once you get to a point, you realize, okay, the things that I'm doing now, someone else can do, or does it even need to be done? Right? And a lot of people are not okay with things not being done. Like, you're business not being the most perfect business there is, right? Because you're focusing on the biggest needle mover, you're focusing on the biggest bottleneck, and sometimes it means leaving your website. Sometimes it means not changing things. Sometimes it means leaving things as they are because they're currently working. And another kind of like small thing that came about this was like, if it's not broken, then don't fix it, right? Like, and it's so cliche. Like, I'm barely saying this to myself, but if it's not broken, don't fix it. And it's very hard for us, especially people that are trying to grow, people that are trying to better themselves, to look at something that is not broken and looking to fix it even more and to improve it even better, right? And sometimes like things that, like for example, there was, I remember looking at this ad from Nike, and it was like the Just Do It ad, right, from Nike. And they ran the ad from like 1980 something all the way up to like 2010 or 2020, right? That ad that they were running was like bloody 50 to 60 years old, right? They literally ran that ad for more than 2 decades. And with that ad generated billions, if not millions of dollars from that one ad, okay? And the funny thing about this, right, is that there's probably things that they need to improve on the ad. There's probably a better hook they could have done. There's probably a better, I don't know, CTA. Like a lot of things like they could have done with that ad, but it was working. And what they done, which is one of the most simplest things to do in business, is leave it alone, right? And that's the main thing, like leave it alone, right? And they left it alone, not for just 1 year, not for 2 years, 10 years, 20 years. They left that campaign running. And that gave me a kind of an insight in business that like some things are just good as they are, right? They don't need to be changed. There are things that need to be changed, that, like, let's say as the market goes up, maybe there's things that need to be changed in your product, things that need to change in marketing, yes. But if you're tracking all the metrics and things are actually going out to be good, then why change it? Why don't you just do more of the things that's currently working? And there's a big lesson that I had to learn for myself, that some things just is okay how they are, right? You don't need to change it. You can just leave as they are because they're currently getting the results that you're getting, which is good enough for you to scale. Okay, and that's what it came down to. Again, just kind of like, this does feel like I'm talking to myself a bit, but the room for trying to do more things in the business, like trying to do things that are not necessary, same from me being bored, from literally having things taken off my plate. And you are going to get to this point if you work hard, you're going to get to this point. And now my whole shift has gone through, okay, how can we just make incremental improvements, and how can we just take things a bit slower? Because it's like taking slow, more methodical steps is going to allow us to grow even faster, because we're not just making stupid decisions. We're just making the right decision at the right time instead of making stupid decisions just because we're bored, right? And just to come on to kind of what happened when I was actually scaling and I was actually doing all these unnecessary things, was I went and changed my VSL. So VSL is just a video sales letter, which is basically a video of me selling on why you should book a call with me. If you scroll down, you're going to see it, right? And my video sales were, because I had a mentor and a good friend of mine. She's making around like 300, 400K a month. And she was like, your VSL basically looks shit, right? I was like, okay, yeah, I agree that my VSL looks shit. And at that time, I was like, okay, I see how she's doing. She's a few steps ahead of me. And I was like, okay, well, if she's saying this, I need to change this, right? But she also told me a few other things I need to change. And her advice was top notch. It wasn't like anything wrong with the advice. She said the right things. It was just the way I should have done it would have been different. Would have been that I should have taken everything that was advised to me and then do it step by step instead of trying to cram all the things in just 1 week, which some people call me like really ADHD. I go from 0 to 100 real quick. So I went from 0 to 100 real quick. And what I started to do, I started to change a lot of things in my business. That some things did improve. Like I was booking 20, I went from booking 10 appointments to booking 25 appointments a day. That did happen, right? But what also happened is that my cancellation rate of the appointments I was getting went from 10 to 15%, which has been usually normal, right? Or to 30 to 40%, right? And I was like, what the heck is going on, right? And the people that were like canceling the calls, it wasn't like bad people, like they were really good prospects. And I was thinking like, what is going on? So what happened is that because I'd done the VSL that she told me, but I'd done it in a way that was too long, I had too many words, gave too much context. It literally killed the need for the call, right? So a lot of people were just jumping on, looking at the VSL and then canceling the call straight after, which meant that like we're booking so many appointments, but we're losing like half of them. We're only speaking to like 40% of the appointments that we're actually booking, which like means that we're basically paying double the appointments that we're actually getting, or double the call per the cost per live call that we're getting, because like they'll cancel it, which meant that our sales were getting a lot of no-shows or cancellation, which was killing their day and their productivity. So I spent a whole 13 days after that, like literally analyzing my business, like what the bloody is going on? Is it this? Is it that? Is this? Is my show operate? Is it my pre-call? Is it what we're doing now? Like, is it the offer? Like, what's really going on? And what happened, I was talking to a friend of mine, he was like, Josiah, the only thing you've actually changed this month was the VSL, right? That the prospect can see. And I was like, oh my God, like I changed the VSL. And I'm like, I changed it. But because I changed things too fast, I didn't actually calculate, right? Or I didn't actually like give it time for the change and the testing to actually take chance to kind of present itself, right? What I should have done was I should have made the VSL, wait 1 or 2 weeks, right? Looked at all the data, or get data before the VSL, like what metric we're trying to improve with this, then track that metric before making the change. So I actually had a benchmark, and then made the change, and then tracked the results of that current benchmark after the change was made. And then I could have seen, is this gone up? Have we increased things? Or we decreased things, right? So then what happened was like, oh my God, let's go back to the old VSL, because we're already closing a very high percentage. We're already getting a good show up rate. But I then changed it for no reason, right? And I want to slap myself in the head, because it's this weird mistakes that you do that like it can literally be avoided if it's not if you just looked at something and said, okay, it may not be perfect, but it's not broken and it's good enough for us to scale. Let's just leave it, okay? So what happened then is after 13 days, I went back to the old VSL, and guess what happened? The week after, my cancellation rate went back down to like 13%, 10 to 13%, which was like, whoosh, it was like, what an easy fix, right? And it's like, and the thing is, and the whole moral of the story is like, just because you don't have anything to do doesn't mean you have to do stupid shit, right? Just because you don't have anything to do doesn't mean you have to do stupid shit. It's better for you to actually just go out and go on a walk than to do something stupid in the business, right? And a lot of people don't understand, like, I would rather just go on a walk or take myself to the cinema or go on a bloody trip or something than go look at the business and doing things for the sake of doing things that are not moving the needle forward. Because there's only so much time and resource that we actually have available, and there's only so many moving parts of the business, right? There's actually a limited moving part of the business, or limited number of moving parts of the business, that if you just do them things well, you will be successful. If you just do the right things, if you just have the right ads, if you just have the right hook, if you just have the right sales process, you will be successful, right? And really rarely that something that works yesterday, worked last week, is going to stop working all of a sudden, unless you messed it up, okay? So what I would have done now is if I was you, I'll get a list of things that you want to change about the business, right? And then I'll prioritize them in terms of like what things you feel like is going to make the biggest impact, right? And then I'll look at the whole list and I'll just say what things are currently in my business that I want to change, but it's currently working good, right? And if any of them mismatches up, let's say you want to change something about your offer, but you've literally just booking so many problems by your offer, but you feel like it could be better, then say, no, it's already working, let's go on. And then things that are not working in your business and things that you want to change, and you have them kind of like coincide that this not working, but I really want to change this, I want you to prioritize them. So a metric or something in your business that's currently off KPI, but you also feel like it could be improved, then that should be a good start of you things to change, because you've already tracked this, you know it's actually not performing, the current thing you're not performing, and then from them improvements you can get that from from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, right? And start scaling the business from there. And the main thing not to do is to try fix something that is already working. And I know this may be the most cliche video, but honestly, like simple things like this, I believe we need to be more reminded than taught. And yeah, I just thought I should make this video just to remind you, just if something is working, do not try fix it. Okay, and that's it from this video. And if you like more things like that, just like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.